It's Hal Weinschenk, my beautiful brothers and sisters of light. I'm setting up, I'm going live both on Facebook and also here on TikTok. Ask any questions as I move along. I'll try to answer them as best I can. And I have two cameras going, so I'm going to be looking in a couple different directions. And we'll get started right in about 2-3 more minutes. And then from there, hello everybody on Facebook, my beautiful brothers and sisters of light. I am live on Facebook right now, and we should be getting ready to get started in about another 3 minutes. And let's see if it came up. There we go. Okay, so I'm live right here on Facebook as well. All I wanted, my intention for this Spiritual Power Hour is just to be an open forum where people can come in, ask questions, and have sort of a group cohesion. This was inspired by back in the day, back in the 90s or so. I was doing this same sort of work, but we did it in person. And so we had what we called Soul Chat, and we sat around and we just talked about spiritual principles. It's really, really needed nowadays. We don't have that with this disconnect with the internet, for a forum where people can just get together, ask open questions, empowering questions about spirituality, life, where we're going with, if you know about the galactic ascension, things like that. Those are some of the topics. So what I'd like to do first, let me get some technical stuff out of the way, so give me 1 or 2 more minutes, and then I'll get started going really quick here. And let's see, hold on one moment. All right, I'm hoping I am live here in my group. I believe I am. If not, then let's see, we'll go back. I think it's live. Anyway, if it's not, there will be a recording for this, which I'll put together, and I'll also answer questions, of course, in the recording. All right, so let me first start out. For those of you who have watched my channel long enough, you know that I do channel galactic beings. They do give me some information, which I hope is useful for you all. It's real short right now, and I'm going to go ahead and just read it off to you, and then I'll comment on it a little bit later, okay? So what they're saying is, for you and all now, transition all into 5D conversations, 5D emotions and feelings and way of being. For all here tonight would be wise to raise your vibrations to match the newer 5D timelines coming into being here on planet Earth. For now is this time of manifesting the life that you desire. Heaven on earth is more than an expression. You are amazing co-creators with God's source. Be those co-creators. For to be that which is of a vibration, you are now holding yourself back from greatness. See yourself as being the masters of your own destiny. You are beholden to no one or nothing outside of your existence, dear ones. Be the wise and high vibrational beings that you are. Be the one, be the all. And they end it with that. So a little bit about what the galactics are sort of saying to us here. For any of you that have followed along with spiritual principles, especially recently of the last few years, you know that we're in this ascension process. So the first step of it, and this is, by the way, from a historical linear standpoint, it's been going on since December 2012, where Gaia, who, she is a living being, she is vibrating and moving and co-creating herself. Gaia, the new 5D Gaia, is already in existence. Go back and watch some of my other broadcasts here on TikTok. You'll see my explanations for that. 5D, D being dimensional. So right now, the majority, or at least a good portion of the Earth, as we're sitting here now, is in 3D, 4D. It's a vibration. It's a state of being. So it's not necessarily a destination. So what they're saying is, right now we're in this ascension process. The first part of it is awakening. A lot of what's been going on in the news is telling you, things to help you awaken as spiritual beings. That's the awakening process. Awakening simply means, aha, oh wow, there's something else going on more than this physical form that I'm seeing here. That's awakening, okay? That's sort of the first stage. But more so, we're in this celestial cycle right now. It occurs, based upon who you hear, somewhere between 25,500 years to 26,000 years. It happens that frequently from a celestial standpoint. So we've already been through 4 cycles of ascension. This is the 4th one. We are in a process now where many others are watching us, galactics are watching us, and they're watching to see what we can do and where we can go with this. The way to do this is to raise your vibration, raise your awareness, raise your perceptions. If you watch any of my previous broadcasts, I talk about this. It's very simple here on planet Earth. Everybody complicates the heck out of this. It is not complicated. As beings here in physical form, it's a school. We're here to learn, expand, grow, and we do that through experience. There's 2 systems primarily that we use, and we complicate the heck out of it. We use the first system, which is our mind, thinking, analyzing. Okay, that's tied to the ego. The ego is that part of us that sort of wants to keep us safe all the time. The ego is tied to all the lower chakras, or lower way of thinking, because it has to do with survival. So the ego likes to keep everything the same, or in control. That's the mind. The second aspect of what we do here on planet Earth is feelings. It's heart. It's not the same as emotions. Emotions is a reaction to what you're sensing. We're sensing beings. The heart, and I've talked about this in many of my broadcasts, the heart has all the wisdom. The way to access the heart is to manifest, is to go within inside, meditate, get quiet. It doesn't have to be a big complicated process, and I've taught meditation before many times. It's really easy to do. Just sit, quiet room, go into the closet if you have to, if you have a very noisy household, and sit quiet. It could take you not even 5 minutes. The purpose of this is there's tons of distractions all around us. The media, the internet, everything else around us is bombarding us with all these sensations. People, the ancients who used to go up on a mountain to meditate, they went up on a mountain for a reason. That's to, quote, get away from it all. So meditation is a state of trance. I'm trained as a classic hypnotherapist, over 2,000 hours, so I understand trance. Trance simply means that you're getting out of this awakened place where you're overstimulated and you just get very quiet and you listen to your inner voice. And this also has to do with how I train for training for intuition. If you want to learn how to do that, reach out to me. The way you access your intuition and the way you access your wisdom mostly is through your heart sense. Your heart sense is like these chakras, okay? That chakra right there and this chakra here, the heart is right, the heart center is right in between. Some will say it's the heart chakra, and that's part of it. But it's your heart center. You'll feel it. You'll know it. You'll know it's your intuition when you have sort of a gut feeling, because it's between your sternum and your belly button, and you'll feel it there, and you'll be like, oh, I had an ucky feeling, or oh, I got an exciting feeling. That's your intuition. That's the 2 primary systems we use here on planet Earth. It's no more complicated than that. So then you say, well, wait a minute, I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about this. And I just did a transmission on stopping anxieties and stopping fears and stopping worries. That has to do with this conflict between the 2. You'll operate much better here on planet Earth, if you want an owner's manual, by staying mostly in your heart. It's not the same as emotions. Emotions are the reaction to what is that you're sensing. And so if you're reacting and it's a knee-jerk and you're constantly reacting, that means your emotions are not managed properly. Emotions, the word is emote. It's an outward energy. The energy I'm speaking of with the heart is an inward sensing. We're sensing mechanisms, and we're of course magnetic, we're electrical, we're energetic. We have different bodies, so to speak. This is just the physical form. That's the 2 primary systems here on planet Earth that we operate under. Thinking, mind, feeling, heart, mind and heart, mind and heart. The triad, the mind, heart, the body, the spirit. But primarily that's what we're doing here in physical form, and that's the trick to operating here on planet Earth, is to manage those. If you need help on managing those, I can help you with that, or there's plenty of resources online to learn how to manage your emotions. The emotions are part of ego, believe it or not. The mind is only really used as a filter. So the mind should be something like, oh, I get this sensation, it's coming in, is this the truth or not? Your mind will try to trick you because it's attached to the ego, but the mind should really just be used as a filter. No, it feels right. Yeah, that feels like the truth. Or, well, no, that really doesn't feel right. So then that's not the truth. So get even more quiet, get more still. Be aware of your breathing. This is how you get yourself into a higher level of trance. This is how people get hypnotized, but you can do a very light sort of hypnosis. That's all meditation is a very light self-hypnosis. That's all meditation is. When you get into that place, you access your heart. Your life will operate much cleaner, much smoother by trying to focus your attention mostly on your heart, not on feelings. It's different. It's sensing. There's truth. If you're purely in your heart, it'll just be pure wisdom that comes through. There won't be any emotions attached to it, or very little emotions attached to it. So that's the thing here on planet Earth. So the channeling that I just got, a few minutes before this broadcast from the Galactics is saying we're in that time space in which we're transitioning to this new 5D Earth. I know that's hard to believe for maybe some of you. I think most of you will believe this. It's already there. I've mentioned this in my previous broadcast. The 5D Earth is already there. It's operating at a very, very high frequency. We're still here in a lower frequency, 3D, maybe 4D. So we have to match this vibration at 5D Earth. If we don't match it, we wouldn't survive there. Our physical form wouldn't survive there. And you can examine and study a lot of this stuff. Our DNA is changing. We're changing from a carbon-based DNA to a crystalline, more of like a silicone-based DNA. And so our bodies, our physical bodies will change slightly. It's going to take thousands of years. Even if we were to suddenly transport to 5D Earth, our bodies will not be in an ultimate 5D place, five-dimensional place. Can't be, because the human form needs to evolve, and that takes time. So these are my tricks, these are my tips for thinking going forward. Try to ignore as much as possible all the outside fear, the fear porn they call it, because there is another element on this planet, we can call it dark, that is trying to keep us down deliberately so that we don't realize our potential as creators. That's the whole purpose of what they're doing. Don't fall for it, okay? It's a trick. Just keep yourself, you're all amazing, amazing, amazing light beings. You have intense amount of power. You don't realize it. I've seen it. I can express it. I can feel it. If you get into that quiet place, you'll tap into that, and it will shock you the first time that happens for you. It will absolutely shock you. But you have that ability. And so that's my encouragement for everybody now listening. Keep your vibration high. The best way to do it with thoughts is just have loving thoughts. And it sounds simple. Again, it's simple here. I do everything in my life simple. Keep loving thoughts. If you have a neighbor that bothers you, okay, I have a neighbor right now that bothers me, I have to constantly remind myself to stay in loving thoughts. Loving thoughts, joy, keep yourself as much as possible in place of joy. Even if you're outside, your job maybe sucks, your partner is not exactly what you want, etc., etc. Try, be as if. That's the way. One of the steps in manifesting that I teach is you act as if you are already there in that vibration and in that place. So try as much as possible to keep your thinking there and keep your emotions there. Managing those two elements, mind and heart, and then the third part, the element there of emotions, that's what true masters do. When you study the Buddhist masters or any of the ascetics that went up on these mountains, they went up there for decades, 20 years sometimes, before they got themselves very still and nothing affected them. They used to have these rituals where they would smack them up against the side of the head just to see if they would react once they got to be in a certain ascended place. And they could just be still. That's managing your thoughts and your feelings. Okay? That's the trick of being here. That's the trick of raising your vibration. Living lovingly, living joyfully, managing your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions. Okay. The other topics that I wanted to try to bring up is about doubts, fears, things like that. What I'd prefer to do is see if there's any questions at this point. Let's see if I can go in here. I'm going into Facebook now, so give me 1 second, please. And let's see if there's any comments at the moment. Okay, I don't see any comments yet, so let me go over here to TikTok. Go ahead and ask me any questions. If you have any right now, I'll try to answer those. You can also message me later in either form. I'm going to, for TikTokers, I'm going to go ahead and post my Facebook group here. If you want to go ahead and join, it's free to join. I have nothing to sell tonight. Okay, I do sell courses and I do one-on-one trainings as well. But if you have just general questions, that's the purpose of these Tuesday night meetings. I'm going to make these ongoing. I'm not going to go more than an hour. That's why I call it Spiritual Power Hour. But I'm not going to go more than an hour. Usually it's going to be about 30 minutes or so. And if you have questions, if you're feeling kind of shy and you don't want to ask the question, that's okay. You can message me later and I'll answer them as best I can. The other part that I wanted to bring up was the way that the thinking gets in the way, because that came up a lot last week and the beginning of this week about worries and doubts and fears. Go over to my TikTok channel for Facebook. I'll post my TikTok channel. I just did 2 videos on this about stopping worries, doubt, fear. The simplistic answer to it is worries, doubts, fears, anxiety, impatience, all of those sort of things has to do with a conflict between your upper level way of thinking and your lower level way of thinking. So the upper level way of thinking is what we would call the higher self. Again, you access that by meditating and concentrating and focusing, being in your heart center. You'll access what we would call the higher self. If you look at the chakra systems, the highest chakra, let me see if I can point to it. Yeah, the crown chakra way up there at the top sits right about here, so to speak. That's considered the wisdom chakra, so to speak. There's actually 12 chakras total that exist beyond, like say, the top of my head and the top of the crown chakra. So the 8th chakra is what they would call the transpersonal or the spiritual chakra, and it goes up from there. The chakras, if you believe in chakras, some do, some don't, are simply kind of nodal points. When we come into this physical form, think of it as like USB ports, okay? It's where our thinking and our energies go. So it's where our thinking and our feelings attach. Each chakra serves a separate function. So for example, the throat chakra, I'm using that a lot right now for talking. For your wisdom, if you're a visual person and you see images, that's going to be your third eye chakra. That's this one right here between her eyebrows. So that would be your third eye chakra. The way to keep those things, again, in check has to do with the balancing of the mind and the heart. So the higher level way of thinking is all the upper chakras. It's from the heart chakra upwards. That's where a person who is flowing with life, creating and manifesting, is joyful and is feeling joy. That's where they're mostly operating. The people who are in the lower chakras are mostly in the physical, mostly in survival, mostly in those emotions, fear, anxiety, impatience, doubts, worries. These are all lower level thinking systems, and they do define it this way. Okay, in the India texts, they describe a lower mind and an upper mind. That's what they're describing as the chakras, and you can feel it in your body. There's nothing wrong, by the way. There's no right, wrong, or indifferent in what I'm describing. We're meant to operate in both, but we're meant to operate in a balance. So there's no mistake. Say where my arm is, that the heart chakra is in the center of the being. It's in that balanced place. So let me give you examples of what I'm describing about being in balance. Imbalanced in the lower chakra sounds pretty obvious. It's what I just described. You live in fear, you live in anxiety, you live in worry, you live in survival mode, right? Things like this. So you're not quite operating in a balanced place. The way to bring yourself up from those fear states is to just imagine. Okay, imagination, the first word is image. So you're imaging, so visualize, even if you can't see, even if you don't have a psychic ability to see, but just close your eyes and imagine. This is why they used to call it daydreaming. A child who is daydreaming is a great imaginer. Okay, so imagine things as better. Imagine getting those things you want in your life. Imagine you feeling different. Imagine your emotions being different. See, that's where it starts. And as you do that, your energy, your thoughts, everything will move up. And you'll be in that more higher state, higher level thinking. That would be somebody who's imbalanced in the lower level thinking. They were always in that state. And sometimes that's needed, okay? When we first came here as beings, if there is a bear or a lion or something attacking you, you better be in your lower state of thinking. You can't be daydreaming and get eaten, okay? So that's an imbalance there. That brings up people who are too imbalanced in their upper. People who are too balanced in their upper, myself included at times, are mostly spiritual beings, mostly artists, mostly people in the arts, people in creative professions. They're what they call daydreamers. This is why in school the teacher would, say something to you about daydreaming, because if you're too much in your upper level chakras and way of thinking, you cannot operate as effectively here as a human being right now. Okay, because in 5D we're going to be mostly in our upper, but we're not there yet. We're in 3D, 4D. So we're still attached to the physical world. So to balance those two means that you kind of move in and out, just like I'm doing with my hand. Depending upon a balanced spiritual being is balanced in the moment. Okay, so an example, you're digging a ditch, you're in construction, right? Stay mostly in your lower chakras. Once you get off work, you go on your break, you start imagining what you want in your life to create, to manifest. You have to move up in your thinking systems. And so that's the proper way to balance. And then you go back to work after your break. You better get yourself into your lower chakras, or you're going to be hammering something and you're going to hit your thumb because you're not mindful, you're not in that space that you need to be in. So a balanced person is balanced in that now moment, every second. See what I mean? And so you're staying in that balanced place. So that's mostly what I wanted to talk about tonight. If I have a few questions come in, again, this is the first time I'm doing it, so I don't see the comments coming in. But if you have questions, please do ask them of me. Again, you know my channel here on TikTok, it's @SoulLearn, 2 words, @SoulLearn. And over on Facebook, I'll go ahead and post the link in here, but the name of the group is Spiritual Power Hour, and it's part of the manifesting group. Let me pull that up for you right now. Hold on, please. Let me get in there. And let's go in. Hold on. And then what I'll do, I'll put a recording up here, and if you have further questions beyond this, go ahead and watch the recording if you weren't able to attend tonight. And I'll go ahead and answer any questions that you have. I also have some freebies over at the Facebook group, so all you have to do is join. It's just an open group, just like this Power Hour that I'm going to be doing. Again, I'll be doing this every Tuesday night, so watch out for this. So the name of my group is Manifesting Mastery and Finding Purpose. And if you look up on Facebook, you do the Facebook /groups/Manifesting Mastery Community. And I'll post that link in here. Let me go back one more time here, and then I'm going to go ahead and end this in about another 2-3 minutes. I'll give you guys some time to put up any questions that you have. And let me look here on TikTok. And so far we don't have a lot. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get this ended right now. Again, there will be a recording for anybody that wants to go back and watch it. I'll go ahead and post it here on TikTok and on Facebook in my group. And again, go over to the Facebook group. There are some free books and things in there to look up, and there's also questions and answers you can ask during the day, and I'll answer those as best as I can. Okay, so look again, Tuesday night we'll be doing Spiritual Power Hour again. Remember, again, keep your vibration high, okay? Don't let outside influences bring you down, because they will try. The system, the way it's set up right now, is a distorted 3D world. This is the dark has come in and distorted this. Happened centuries ago, but it is distorted, and the way it's described, often it was originally a planet of play, and it was described as a planet of pain because it's been inverted. The 3D world has been inverted, meaning, you know, what was up was now down, that sort of thing. So don't get into that, okay? Don't get into the outside distractions. Allow yourself to stay centered within you. You know all the truth. You have all the truth within inside of you. Again, that's in your heart center space. You don't really need anyone outside of yourself to tell you how to create and manifest in your life, okay? All right, amazing ones. I will see you next time. Again, I post right here on my TikTok channel. And then I will go ahead and see you next Tuesday, and we'll go from there, okay? If you have any questions, go ahead and let me know, and I'll answer them as best I can, okay? Take care. Bye-bye for now.